5 walking mistakes that are killing your back. Most people assume that walking is one of the safest and most natural forms of exercise. And while walking does offer many health benefits, it can also become a hidden source of back pain, especially if it's done with poor technique. Many people walk every day but still experience lower back discomfort, joint stiffness, or poor posture. And often, they don't realize their walking habits could be part of the problem. The issue isn't walking itself, it's how you're walking. In this video, we'll go through 5 of the most common walking mistakes that can quietly place stress on your spine and explain exactly how to correct each one to prevent long-term pain and keep your body moving well. Let's begin. One of the most common habits that leads to back and neck discomfort is walking with your head tilted down. It's something many people do without thinking, checking their phone, watching the pavement, or just moving on autopilot. But this simple mistake adds unnecessary pressure to your spine, especially if it happens every day. Here's what's really going on. The average human head weighs around 4 to 5 kilograms. When it sits directly above your shoulders, your spine handles that weight easily. But for every inch your head shifts forward, the load on your neck increases by another 4 or 5 kilograms. That's like holding a bowling ball out in front of you instead of letting it rest by your side. Over time, this posture leads to tightness in the neck and shoulders, frequent tension headaches, and in some cases, numbness or tingling down the arms. It can even affect your breathing because slouching forward compresses the chest and reduces your ability to take full, deep breaths. The good news is, it's easy to correct. Instead of looking down, lift your gaze to a point about 10 to 15 feet ahead. Keep your chin level and imagine a string gently pulling the top of your head upwards. This simple shift helps restore your natural posture. It reduces strain on the neck, improves your breathing, and even helps your balance while walking. Small changes like this, repeated daily, can make a real difference in how your body feels, especially if you walk often or for long periods. Mistake 2. Taking short, passive steps. Another common mistake that often goes unnoticed is walking with short, lazy steps. It might feel comfortable at first, but over time, it puts more pressure on your lower back than you realize. That's because when your steps are too short, your hips don't move properly, your glutes don't activate, and your core muscles stop doing their job. Instead of your legs and hips absorbing the movement, your lower back starts to compensate. And that's where tension and discomfort can build up, especially after longer walks. You might notice signs of this if your back feels tight after walking, or if your hips feel stiff when you sit down afterwards. It's also a common pattern for people who spend most of their day sitting. Sitting too much shortens the muscles at the front of the hips and weakens the muscles at the back, making it harder to walk efficiently. So, what's the fix? Try to walk with a full, natural stride. That means letting your back leg extend behind you before lifting off the ground. Your heel should strike the ground first, followed by a smooth roll forward through the foot. You don't need to take big, exaggerated steps. Just allow each stride to flow with intention, and make sure your arms are helping. When your arms swing naturally, it encourages your legs and hips to move better too. It's all connected. You can try this the next time you go for a walk. Slow down just a little, focus on letting your back leg finish its movement, and notice how your posture feels. With more stride and less shuffle, your spine will thank you. Mistake 3. Wearing the wrong shoes. When people think about walking technique, they often focus on posture or stride. But what's on your feet plays a major role in how your entire body moves and how your back feels after walking. Wearing the wrong shoes is one of the easiest ways to throw off your alignment without realizing it. And unfortunately, it's more common than most people think. Shoes that are flat, too hard, or worn out can cause your feet to roll inward, your ankles to wobble, or your heels to collapse. That might not sound like a big deal, but when your feet lose proper support, your knees, hips, and lower back all have to adjust to keep you moving. Over time, this leads to muscle strain, joint stress, and changes in how your spine absorbs impact. Many people notice they feel more tired after walking, or that their back starts to ache after just 20 minutes on their feet. Often, their footwear is a big part of the problem. So what should you look for in a walking shoe? First, make sure the arch of your foot feels supported. If your feet tend to roll in or flatten, choose a shoe with structured arch support. Second, check the sole. It should have some cushioning, but not so soft that it feels unstable. You want support with shock absorption. Third, look at your old shoes. If one side of the sole is more worn than the other, that's a sign your walking pattern may be off, and your spine is likely compensating. If you're not sure what kind of shoe is right for you, it's worth visiting a specialist shop or getting a foot scan to see how your feet move when you walk. Because when your shoes support your feet, your entire body benefits, including your back. Mistake 4. Not swinging your arms properly. Arm movement might seem like a small detail when it comes to walking, but it has a much bigger impact on your spine than most people realize. Many people walk with their arms stiff at their sides, hands in pockets, or holding a bag in one hand without any balance on the other. Others unconsciously clench their fists or swing their arms unevenly. Sometimes one arm moves and the other stays still. These habits may feel normal, but they interrupt the body's natural rhythm. When your arms don't swing freely, the trunk, your midsection and spine can't rotate properly. That means your lower back ends up doing more of the twisting with each step. Over time, this leads to tightness, reduced mobility, and in many cases, lower back pain. Good arm swing is about more than just balance. It helps to drive the movement of your entire upper body. It also supports better posture by keeping your shoulders relaxed and encouraging a strong, upright position as you walk. Here's what to do. Let your arms move naturally from the shoulder, not the elbow. Your elbows should be bent at roughly 90 degrees, and your arms should swing gently in time with your steps. Make sure your left arm swings forward with your right leg, and your right arm swings with your left leg. This cross-pattern movement is how the body is designed to walk, and it helps keep your gait smooth and efficient. If you're carrying a bag, try to switch sides regularly so you're not putting constant weight on one side of the body. And if you're holding a phone, consider putting it away while you walk. This allows both arms to move freely and resets your balance. When your arms are part of the walking rhythm, your whole body moves more efficiently, and your spine doesn't have to pick up the slack. Mistake 5. Stiff legs and poor pelvis control. While walking, a common mistake that can lead to back discomfort is walking with poor control of the legs and pelvis, particularly walking with legs that stay too stiff throughout the whole stride, or a pelvis that doesn't move correctly. Now, to be clear, straightening the knee and activating your glute at the end of your step is exactly what should happen. But many people either straighten too early or never fully extend the leg at all. Others hold their body too rigid and stop the pelvis from moving naturally. Here's what happens when that goes wrong. If you keep your knees locked throughout the entire walking cycle, your legs lose the ability to absorb force properly. Instead of sharing the load across your muscles and joints, the force travels directly up into your lower back. The same goes for a pelvis that doesn't move or rotates too little. Your spine ends up doing more work to compensate. The goal isn't to keep the knees soft all the time, but to allow them to bend and extend at the right points in your step. As your back leg pushes off the ground, the knee should fully straighten and the glute should fire. That gives you power and forward momentum. But before your heel strikes again, the knee should soften slightly to absorb impact, not stay stiff and locked throughout. As for the pelvis, it shouldn't stay completely still. A small amount of rotation and tilt is natural and helps transfer movement through your spine and hips. If you clench too tightly or walk too upright without glute control, you restrict that natural movement and load the back instead. So here's what to focus on. Let your legs flow through the full walking cycle. Straighten the knee and squeeze your glute as you push off, then allow the knee to soften just before landing. Keep your pelvis neutral, not tucked under or rigid, and allow for a gentle rotation as you walk. This combination gives you a strong, efficient stride without putting unnecessary pressure on your lower back. Bonus tip: walking is a whole body movement. When people think about walking, they often focus only on the legs. But walking is much more than just putting one foot in front of the other. It's a full body movement, and when one part isn't working well, it affects everything else. Your feet, ankles, knees, hips, pelvis, spine, shoulders, and even your arms all play a role in how you move. And more importantly, in how your body handles the load of every step. Let's take an example. If your foot lands awkwardly, it changes how your knee absorbs impact. That shift affects the way your hip moves, which then influences how your spine rotates. Before long, the muscles around your lower back and pelvis are working harder than they should, often leading to tightness, strain, or long-term discomfort. The same goes for your upper body. If your shoulders are tense or your arms aren't swinging properly, your spine can't rotate the way it's supposed to. That reduces efficiency and increases fatigue, especially during longer walks. Even your breathing matters. When your posture is poor, your chest collapses slightly and your diaphragm has less space to move. That means you're getting less oxygen with each breath, which impacts both your energy and recovery. So while walking may seem like a basic activity, doing it well requires coordination, control, and awareness across your entire body. The more in sync each part of your body is while walking, the less stress there is on any one area, especially your spine. It's not about being perfect, it's about being aware. Once you start noticing these small things, how your arms move, how your foot lands, whether your hips feel stuck, you begin to unlock the kind of walking that supports your health, not works against it. And that's where real, long-term change begins. Let's recap the 5 key mistakes that could be contributing to your back pain. 1. Looking down, increasing strain on the neck and upper back. 2. Taking short, inefficient steps that overload the lumbar spine. 3. Wearing unsupportive footwear that disrupts alignment from the ground up. 4. Failing to swing the arms properly, reducing core stability and rhythm. 5. Locking the knees or tucking the pelvis, removing shock absorption and spinal mobility. Each of these can be corrected with simple adjustments, and they're even more effective when applied together. If you'd like to improve your walking technique, reduce pain, and build long-term movement efficiency, we've created 2 powerful resources to help. First, download your digital copy of The Way to Walk, our physiotherapist-designed guide to smarter, stronger walking. It explains the mechanics of pain-free walking and provides strategies you can apply immediately. Second, join our 3-kilometer in 33-minute challenge. This is a structured walking routine designed to help you retrain your form, build endurance, and reset your body, no matter your current fitness level. And for ongoing tips, movement support, and access to our physiotherapy-led wellness community, join Revitalize Together, our free platform where we help people move better, feel stronger, and prevent pain before it starts. Thank you for watching this video from R3 Physiotherapy. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe for more expert-led guidance on walking, joint health, and smarter movement.